Alright, okay. Give thanks every time. So getting into something new, that's what I do. Something new for today. Hopefully you get some value, at least a little bit, off of what I have to say. Massive value coming through is what I'm trying to do. But bringing something new. So I'd have to say, working on the consultant dashboard for today, building out the coaching feature, and then I'll go from there. Maybe some more consultant teams, and gonna probably have to do some database work with that too. So I'll explain everything as I'm going through what I do. So coding the consultant dashboard. I've opened up the terminal and laid the foundation clean. Now I'm building out the engine for the coaching team machine. Constructing the consultant dashboard right before your eyes, creating premium workflows where the real leverage lies. No more basic layouts or static driven rows. Wiring up the framework where the high ticket value grows and flows. Coding out the features to let the advisors lead. Dropping tools and matrix views to serve a massive need. Giving coaches deep data on exactly how their clients think, tying behavioral metrics straight into a single link. From automated intake pipelines to structured strategy guides, shipping high-end logic where the real wealth resides. I don't build minor apps or chase a trendy trend. Architecting sovereign systems that pay off in the end. While the idlers are stagnant. Building wrappers thin and light. I'm opening up the multi-dashboards to scale the empire right. The market has an infinite supply of capital to share. So we all gotta claim our territory because we execute with care. So 89 days of showing up and crushing through the grind. Look at the discipline and the focus of my mind. Every single stream is proof of what a founder takes. Crushing bugs with Claude Code and raising up the stakes. The flywheel is spinning with immense speed and velocity. Outbuilding legacy platforms with fierce ferocity. So wake up the chat, turn it up, let the energy ignite. Welcome to the broadcast, Code and Enterprise Logic tonight. Smash the follow and the like. Let the visibility start to spike. Drop a comment in the stream if you know what real abundance looks like. The workspace is ready. Schemas are clean. Building out the coaching engine and activating the machine. So I was doing some work with Figma. I keep saying Figma. Fable 5 and Ultra Code in the Ultra mode. And that was no joke. That was like the most tokens I ever burnt in one task by far. I think I spent like 11 million tokens, maybe 11.5 million tokens just to do one task. And I learned a lot from it, mostly like what not to do. After it was done, I was talking to Claude a lot about this seems like it wasn't necessary to do all this. And they were like, yeah, I mean, like I did find one bug that would have made up for all of it just with like the payment, with a payment issue that probably would have costed me more in the long run if I didn't find it. But still, they were like, you could have done this differently. You could have done this with way less tokens, with a different workflow, and you would have got the same results. So that was a major learning experience. Now I'd have to say, I'm going to try to get as much use of Fable 5 as I can, as long as it's on the subscription plan, because now I see how much it costs to run it. I mean, that's no joke. Like, I think to do any task with it is going to cost at least like about $50 to do like a meaningful task with it if it was on API. So yeah, just get it while it's there, make hay while the sun shines, while the Fable 5 is free. So let's get into it. Gotta open up the right project. Alright, so I'm going to start Claude. And I'm going to use Fable 5 again. What is the command to use Fable 5? That's weird. Looks like it already opened. Yeah, this is not a new chat, new context. Okay. Gotta get new context. And then Fable 5 is Model Claude Fable 5, that's right. There we go, Fable 5 coming through. Alright. So let's see. I want to do some more work on this consulting dashboard. So basically, I added the first consultant team on here. And the first thing I want to do today is to add a business coach that just works on this business, this Stackivate business. So this this whole dashboard is just for Stackivate. And basically, it's got some information in the project, but then it'll get more information from the database that shares with every project in this business. And the database is like in the process of getting set up with all the different schemas. It'll get better over time. So the first question I have for you is like, how much does it matter right now that the database doesn't have as much data as there will be to set up, say, like an AI coach right now that's specific to this project? Can I still set up the coach and then like it would be set up right and then I can just add the database stuff soon? Just when I think I know something about basketball too. This is like one of the craziest finals I've ever seen. Home team always loses. I feel like game 5, the Knicks will probably win in San Antonio. And then game 6, the Spurs will probably win in New York. And then game 7, who knows? I was saying Knicks in 4 the other day. Welcome to the chat, iPod Music. You're asking me why do I prompt like that? What do you mean by like that? I can't really answer your question because you need to be more specific. So, just not sure what you mean. Alright, so I did not remember adding a coach feature last time. I thought I just did the first consultant part. And if you think that doing some more steps for the first consultant team would make the coach better, then let's start there. And either way, just give me a quick rundown of what's built into the coach so far. I'm guessing it's like super basic. Why must I prompt like that? Prompt like whoa. Still not giving up on the Knicks though. I would not be totally surprised if they came back. Oh, I see what it's saying. So it didn't have an AI coach. The AI coach it was thinking was on the actual app itself, which is like a coach for the users for the app. So there's not a coach in here yet, just like I thought. All right, that makes sense. The coach you were thinking of is the coach for users of the app. And I want this coach to be for myself or anybody else on the team running this business. And it will work in conjunction with the consultants. So it'll have access to the information from the consultants. But I would use the coach more for like coaching purposes and the consultants for consulting purposes. So since those other things with the first consultant team don't matter to get the coach going and it's better to do the coach first, let's do that. And I think your plan makes sense to separate the coach directory from the consultant directory. So they should be like different features on the app, but still they have access to all the same information, which mean they're in the same project, and then they both have access to everything on the database. So before we get started planning out this coach, right now I'm using Figma 5, and I'm new to Figma 5, but I'm wondering, what do you recommend for like this planning phase? Do you recommend Figma 5 with any certain type of like features added to it, or do you think Figma 5 is going to give me good planning that that it wouldn't really matter to add any extra features? Figma 5 alone is going to be good. Keep saying Figma 5, but it's Fable 5, man. It's like, no, it's not Figma. I'm like, I know, but I don't know why I keep. It's too many different updates, too many similar names. I'm gonna interrupt and let her know. My fault. I keep saying Figma 5, but I mean Fable 5. The model of Claude Code, Fable 5. Claude Code. Claude Code. Alright, so what does the business coach do that just prompting the AI directly would not do? There we go. I can definitely answer that one. So basically, if I went on an LLM and I was like, prompting it, like, tell me about this business, each time I went on there, I would have to give it all the information about the business. I could have a chat working over time, like just stay on the same chat, but over time that chat is going to get, it's going to have to compact the conversation. It's going to get really slow. And the more information I give it from the start, the slower it gets. So right here, the first reason, I think the biggest reason, is all the information that it has access to. So it's going to have access to the database of all the information for everything in this business. It's going to have access to everything that this consultant teams are going to be providing me with. Those are all going to like go into databases at the right time. And then basically I can run multiple agents. So I can build this first coach, and what I'm thinking is like I'll build out more different coaching profiles. So like I could have this coach be like a very like, optimistic coach, just for example, and then I could have another coach be like very skeptical, and then I could assign both of those agents. So like each time I run them in this project, there's multiple agents, and then they're kind of like communicating with each other and coming to like more on things that they agree on. So I'm going to get way better information than just doing this through an LLM. I'll get better information, and I can keep building on more profiles over time. Should be a lot quicker too, especially as time goes by, more data adds up. So like, just for how much data this will have probably in a few months from now, that would be that'd be a ton of data to be putting in an LLM. So I'm thinking for this coach, first make this one direct but supportive, and that brings me to like a good idea that, just like I have teams of consultants, I want to build over time like different coaching profiles so that I could spin up different agents to run each coaching profile according to its guidelines and get better information, different views, different aspects, stuff like that. So I think however you think it would make the most sense to build it, probably just build it out one coaching profile at a time, And if that's the case, build this first one as direct but supportive. So from the start, this will be just free-form chat. And then when I figure out what makes more sense, then I'll add if it's going to do like a weekly check-in, stuff like that. But for the beginning, let's just build it out simply. So it's just, you know, I just talk to it and it just has all the information that it has access to. And then it can answer my questions. And then when I use it more and I understand it better, then I will think of like routines or something like that. And any advice you have too on this would be helpful. What else is Stackivate doing? There's the main app. The app is investment education to help people develop their own unique style of investment that works best for them and their personality. There is a marketing system. There is a CRM system that's custom. And now this is going to be the coaching / consultant system. Do I ever show the code base? Not the whole thing. I showed the code base when I was first building out individual apps and learning. But from what I understand, it is not a good idea to show the code base if you are building a business like this. So you're curious to see what 89 days looks like? Well, you're in the right place because this is day 89. So now you can see, and the foundation is pretty much set for this business. I'll be starting the next business soon. Do I have an MVP people can look at? Yes. I just have the MVP that was maybe like a month and a half ago. Now it's definitely better than an MVP on version 1. And you're in YouTube. So there is in the YouTube description, there's a link. Otherwise, you could just Google Stackivate, Stackivate. And any feedback you have, I would appreciate. If you're working on any projects yourself and you want me to check it out and give you my opinion, feel free to let me know. And right now there is an offer that it's taking me longer to set up than I thought. But basically I have an offer that should be live tonight, tomorrow morning, hopefully. And basically the founding members offer, first 10 users, first month free, second month free if they find a bug. And then they're locked in for as long as they keep the subscription, that they get the founding member price. And right now the founding member price is about $15 a month for the paid tier. But once the app gets better, once I get those first users, then I will raise the price, and everybody who's not a founding member, then the price will go up once I raise it. Page was blank on the first load. Let me try it myself. See if it does that. I was just doing some work on it last night. Loaded up fine when I tried it first time. So here's another good feature of doing a coach this way, is that the coach will have its own database. After each coaching session, it will log what we talked about in the database. So that way it can have history and not have to just start from zero. So the coach is built, gonna try a coaching session. And right now I'm just gonna do this session through Claude. But I'm going to look it up on the dashboard, so I can do it through the dashboard later. There will be a decent amount of working with the coach through Claude just to dial it in to get it working how I want to work it, and then I'll wire it to the dashboard. I used to build things out, like try to build out the whole project from the start, but now I'm understanding this better. What'd I say? What did I say? New York. I would not be surprised if they came back. Wow. So you're curious how I plan to structure that, but with context. Structure, are you talking about structuring the AI coach? The business coach? Because that's what I'm basically doing right now. Just making a basic, like, just having it, like, decide what it thinks is good, like the basic coach. And then I'm going to start using it and see how it works. And then I can, like, you know, go from there and structure it along the way. How do I plan to persist the data the business coach will use? I guess not 100% sure what you mean, but I think you just mean like in a database. Like I'll have a database on the back end where all the data is being stored. Yes, I want a Gemini. I'm building an AI coaching feature, and someone just asked me how I would persist the data the business coach will use. So I don't really understand 100% what they mean by persist, but I think they just mean like, you know, this is a coaching feature I'm building as a project with Claude Code, and the data will be stored in the backend on a database, and it will access data from the other projects in the business that share the same database. Let me know if this means something else than what I think it meant. Knicks are actually winning. They were down by like 30 points. Wow. No way. But what'd I say? So I said I wouldn't even be super surprised. Yeah, so I did. That was I understood that question correctly. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. So it will all be stored in a database on the back end. Oh, so you want to know more specifically like how it's going to structure the data in the database. Free text, or will I break it down further, like business decisions, etc.? So I don't know yet. Basically, what I've learned is to not try to build the database right away, is to start building out the project and start working with the features on the project. Because usually if I try to build like how the database is going to be structured from the start, then that might be wrong. So what I've learned from my building styles, it's better to build everything out, and then when I have a better understanding of like what kind of data is being stored, then I'll hook it up to a database. But I think kind of like, you know, for the most part, like I think you understand like business decisions, that would probably make sense to be like one schema. Tasks that I have to do, tasks that I have to get done, you know, what kind of tasks I like doing, what kind of tasks I don't like doing, you know, who's helping me on my team and what are they assigned to, like pretty much everything I could think of that a coach would do. I'm just going to start using the coach for a while to get a better idea. But these are definitely good questions. And I mean, I wouldn't have understood doing this like a couple months ago. I would have been asking those same questions, like why not just use the LLM? But the more I build and the more I understand these business systems, now I understand why this makes way more sense to build it like this. Alright, so I did fix that checkout wiring. However, I just added a new introductory founding member offer for the first 10 users. And I have that wired correctly. I just have to go on to my payment provider and then I just have to like enable it through there. So that's like the next task I have to do with that. Also, I have used some stronger models like Code and Fable 5 to do bug checks since then, so I've found some more bugs that I couldn't find with like weaker models of AI. From this session, what I want to do is just get a basic understanding of like the main areas that you think you can help me and get some direction in each one of those areas and start to get a better idea of like how this database for this coach is going to be built. So for right now, just saved like what we learn and what we get from these sessions onto a file in this project folder. And then we'll hook up the database once I have a better idea of like what kind of schemas that we should have for this database for you as this coach and how that's going to work with the consultants and the rest of the project. So just something to keep in mind, and go ahead and get started with let me know the ways you think you can help me. "30 seconds left. I'll be back." Never mind, it's commercial time. See, and I was like I guess maybe I don't really care who wins the finals. I guess maybe I want to see New York win it a little bit because they just been like so close the last few years. But after like they won the first two games, I was kind of disappointed because I was like, man, this is going to be a lame finals. Like they're just going to like sweep them super easy. So I'm actually glad to see this. Like now we got like an actual series going again. So looking at the chat, you would say the prompts are more important than the code. These days code is nothing. Code is everything and nothing. I don't completely understand what you mean. I think maybe what you're saying is like these days anybody can make code. So the prompts are maybe where more skill is. But I think that, you know, even though anybody can make code, what I'm learning is that not everybody understands how to structure code correctly and how to build great things. So there's definitely a skill, more of a skill to it, I believe. Oh, in reference to not showing the code. Code costs nothing to produce at this point, at least for now. Unless you're using like last night, man, I used this Fable 5 with Code and I had to do one task. And it took me about somewhere between a half hour and an hour. Ran through my whole I started it at the end of like like maybe 20 minutes left on a 5 hour session with my Claude Code Max plan. Ran through that whole thing. Then it ran through maybe like $110 extra usage credits, like API credits. And then my next session started and it ran through like that whole next usage session. So I mean if that was just API cost, that would have been like a couple $100 probably. But I mean if I were just using the basic models, exactly, that would have costed nothing. It would have costed probably like a couple dollars of like subscription cost. All the ideas are in the prompt. All right, be right back. Oh, wow. That was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy. No way. That was, man, I'm glad I didn't miss that. Wow. That was crazy. Nixon 6. with a single notes table pretty much just end up with the same issue as using an LLM. So you will be interested to hear about the data structure once I have it. Definitely one major crux. So will the business coach just be wrapped around an LLM but with better context clues? So there will be multiple coaches and they will work together. And I would have to say that's kind of like a basic way of saying it. Better context. Better context. And like I was saying, it's just going to a notes table for now until I get a better idea of how to wire up the database correctly. And yes, I will spin up agents for it. Gonna do a little bit more research after talking to this first coach and getting this set in about how to do that better. You know, different attitudes and personalities, the way they can kind of like debate with each other. And I'll get a better understanding over time of like, you know, what personalities of coaches are better for, you know, different issues and stuff like that. So, and another thing that I forgot to mention is I plan on putting like Hermes agent to help me with this dashboard. And I'm kind of seeing certain ways that, you know, there'd probably be multiple agents, but I will find the best ways to use Hermes agents. And who knows, maybe there's a better version of Hermes that comes out a week or a month from now and Hermes becomes obsolete. I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you. The UI looks great on the MVP. Appreciate it. I put in a lot of time to that and I learned it's not one of my favorite things to do, but definitely makes a major impact. So hopefully in the future I can outsource most of the UI stuff. But then again, in the future it'll probably just keep getting easier and easier and better to do. So who knows? Okay, for your first questions, basically the analytics key thing, I've been working with that, and I just got an email back from the analytics provider to try and fix it again. So I'm going to try that again. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to switch to a different analytics provider because I've been dealing with this for a long time, and it's not a high priority right now because there's not much analytics to track. I want that's one thing I want you to help with is helping me recognize the highest priority tasks that I should be doing. So the bugs were across the whole project that I was hunting and that I found, but some of the most severe ones were definitely in like the payment part. So the payment part is looking pretty good now. I think that I would call it like really good for version 1 once I get this offer turned on. And basically like I've already tested the offer somewhat. So like once the first 10 founding users are in, the next user would just be on like regular pricing. And I want this to be like, the best offer that I do. So any offers that I have in the future should not be better than this one. So another task that I want to make a priority that I think is a big priority right now is making the database structure better for the main app itself. And a big reason I want to make that a high priority for right now is that I have access to this Fable 5 model through the subscription for like another week and a half. So I want to do that with Fable 5 because from what I understand that's a really good use case for Fable 5. And I guess another good question for you would be like what do you think would be the most valuable info that you could be getting from the project, from the marketing, and from the CRM project? Because those are all separate projects, but they're all going to share the same dashboard that you will be sharing. So, what do you think is like the highest priority of data, sets of data that you could be getting to help guide you in your process? Other than that, um, just give me kind of like a good idea of like how these sessions are going to go. Looks like you're just kind of like mentioning what we brought up last time, asking me where I'm at in regards to that, and then I'll give you answers and then not really sure where it's going from there. Won't let you sign up. You keep getting 429s. Thank you for that. So I'm guessing that sign up for the like what gateway are you trying to use to sign up? Is that for the onboarding quiz? That's what I'm thinking. Okay. I know where you're at then. You just hit sign in and then sign up. Awesome. That's the next fix I will look into. It was working. I did a ton of auditing and like bug fixes and stuff last night, so that could have definitely like caused something else to break, which it looks like it did. But thank you for that. Thank you for finding that. And if you do decide to sign up with that founding member deal, just send me a message through live stream or whatever. It's not available yet. I still have to get it turned on. But if you do that, I'll give you the second month for free, since you just found that bug right there. The first and second months. Even if you did something wrong on your end, like that shouldn't have been like an issue. Like it should have been able to get you signed up. That like I'm thinking there shouldn't be anything that you could have done wrong. So there's just got to be something with those changes I made last night, I'm guessing. So awesome. Forgot what day it was, and I thought it was Thursday. And then a couple hours ago I saw it was Wednesday, and I was like, whoa, I got like an extra day in the week. Like, what am I going to do with all this extra time? Use Fable 5 as much as I can before switches to API usage. I was up all night using Fable 5. I didn't plan to do that. It was just, they definitely knew what they were talking about when they said longer running tasks. Because, kept recommending me all these new tasks that I'd never done before, like code review, stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I gotta try that. And then that would be like another 2 hours. And another 100 agents. But it was worth it, I feel like. Even though it looks like it caused some new issues, like it found some really good ones that I couldn't find before. That was a good game. Well, the end of that game, man, that's all I needed to see was, like, I watched the first half and I was like, oh, man. How you get down by 30 points after winning the first two and you're at home. But I was like, no, they can come back. They've done it before. I've seen them do that all year. Dude shot the extra long three. And then out of nowhere, they planned it right. Just have the other dude run up and tip it in if he missed, and it worked perfect. Okay, so I like this first session. This was cool. So far, this is a good start for a coach. And, as far as running the, analytics team again, I'm thinking, I don't need to do that right now because I already, know what I need to do. And, Also, I feel like it's not time yet to build the second analytics team, but what I would like to do right now is to start like building out the actual dashboard with what we have so far. So start with like a strategy for how you think I should build out this dashboard. Ask me any questions you want to ask me. You know, I'm thinking of having maybe like different tabs, like one tab for coaching and then like a separate tab for each different consultant team. But let me know what you think, and we can just get started building the foundation of this actual dashboard. So ultimately, I want to have it to be interactive, but I'm not sure if it would make sense to have it interactive from day one based on like not knowing how this is going to work yet. I'm getting a basic idea, but the main thing I think, if it doesn't matter that I don't know like exactly how all these sessions are going to work, then if that matters for making it interactive from day one, then don't make it interactive, just do read only. But because I want to have it interactive, I think that if we can do it interactive from day one and build it like that from the start, and then I'll just keep working with it inside Claude Code. And then when I get it dialed into working right, then I can just like update the dashboard, I'm thinking. Another feature that I want to build for this consulting and coaching dashboard is some kind of calendar. So the first thing that I was thinking was like I want to do goals. So essentially like the calendar would track like when certain goals should be done or something like that. But I'm thinking maybe it would make more sense to have like one tab that is like the goals, like a list of goals and tasks that need to be done, and then another tab that is like a calendar that is not just like, you know, when tasks should be done, but also like certain dates that I have set up for running the coach or certain consulting teams. And then in the future, like if I have meetings or anything like that, then I could have that in that calendar. And like this calendar would be different than like a CRM calendar or a marketing calendar. So let me know what you think about a calendar for this consulting coaching, and like how you think it should be structured and what information you think should be on this calendar. You turn auto mode on. And this makes way more sense to how these agents can operate. Once I get a calendar with tasks on it, then these agents, they're getting better and better at doing just like random tasks. Can you think of any other features for this coaching and consulting dashboard other than a calendar that would make sense to help with the information I'm getting? Yes. I can have a corporate boardroom table. Basically, like build a variation of paperclip, but like one that's like, because I feel like paperclip is like just way too one size fits all, and it does way too much for every task. So I could have a paperclip structure of like a boardroom structure, but it'll just be on the dashboard, and then I can like go and sit down and run ideas by the boardroom when I need to. So it'd be like different than a consultant or a coach. The intellect and higher faculty of discerning wisdom. Everything sounds good to me, but I want you to change this to the localhost browser on 3002 because there's already something on 3000. Alright, get to check out what it built. Site cannot be reached. So I just tried to open up the local host and I got an error message. Says the site cannot be reached. Maybe first thing I'm thinking is the dev server started? If not, start it. If it is, then try to figure out why the dashboard is not coming up on localhost 3002 like it should. Start the dev server. There we go. Alright, looks super basic, but at least it's in dark mode. Alright, so far everything looks good for the data. I'm not going to worry about the design and the UI. I'll wait till like more is built out. But I got some more good ideas for stuff to add, and I want to run these by you. I'm thinking I'll run them by one at a time. So the first one is basically a calendar. So this calendar will be for, you know, tasks that need to be done by a certain date. stuff I go through with these consultant teams or coaches that they recommend that, you know, is high priority that I get done, and I can put it on a calendar so I can reference a calendar of like what tasks. And just for more context, I want to have another tab that would be for goals. And I'll talk more about that with you next after this this calendar part is built. But I'm thinking just to reference that I can also like put certain goals on there maybe. Let me know what you think about this calendar tab. I can automatically have the coaches and consultants write things to the calendar. Do a systems tab. Once I get something locked in, I can put it as a system. In the boardroom. Claude knew exactly where I was going with this. Calendar tab is live. Yeah. I'll do some more goals later. I just want to get like the foundation of this built out right now. I'm seeing how this has a lot of value, being like a visual aid to everything I'm going to be doing, mostly through you, but then like you can put it to this dashboard. But anyways, the next feature that I'm looking at adding is a place for standard operating procedures. Maybe call it like a SOP factory. So basically, the way I'm thinking about doing this for now is like when I solve a problem, you know, with the coach or the consultants, I can have them help me create an SOP for like each different process or whatever. But I want this to be like a list of all the different standard operating procedures for every part of the business. And right now, I don't know like in detail what all those parts will be, but I want to add like a home for them. And I'm not sure how the coach and consultants will help me to generate these. And I also am thinking, you know, I want to be able to, some of them, maybe I already know what they are, and I can add them. So let me know what you think, any questions you have for me. And I think this is important. I need to make sure that I have a home for all the SOPs. So this has turned out to be, like I was thinking this would just be for consulting and coaching, but I think this needs more than that. I think this should be like an entire CEO dashboard. Founder dashboard. I want to get a better idea of what Fable 5 from Claude is good for doing. Like what tasks are best for using Fable 5? What tasks don't really matter? You know, if I use Opus or Fable 5. Just give me kind of a rundown on how Fable 5 is better than Opus, and we'll start from there. Let's run the first SOP, the founding member offer. So this is basically 10 spots for the first 10 people to sign up on the paid tier. They get the first month free. If they find a bug in that first month, they get the second month free. And as long as they keep their subscription and don't manually cancel, then they're locked into that $14.99 monthly cost. Or if they want to do a yearly, I think it's $143.99, then they can do that too. But basically, there's leniency. Like if a payment doesn't go through, that doesn't stop their being grandfathered into that price. There's, I don't know exactly how long the time period is, but they have time to go and, like, you know, change a card. So it's basically if they only manually cancel. So that's, you know, I think a good SOP just to get locked in, just to like see how it's listed. And if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so I see that Fable 5 cost a lot to run, so I'm going to try to get as much done with it as I possibly can until June 22nd, when it will switch to API costs. And this is good to know, so I'll remember not to put any like sensitive data into it because it's being shared. So I used Fable 5 with Ultra Code, and it was like the most tokens I ever used. And after I did it, I found out that there's better ways to do it that would have been cheaper and quicker. But I did this for like you know, it was like a cleanup after a major bug hunt. And then it also had me review the code base. Basically, what I'm wondering is, do you see any tasks that would actually make sense to do Ultra Code with Fable 5? Or do you think that's just like overkill for everything? No, there was no mistake in the transcription. Ultra Code is a effort mode in Claude Code. So it's even higher than max effort. And it does processes differently than all the other effort modes. So if you don't understand what that is, then I'll just skip that question with you, because it's very new. I've already used the two of them together, and I know that they're very token heavy. It was like 11.5 million tokens for a task that took about a half hour to do. Alright, that looks good to me. So the next feature I want to build is like going to be more technical. I think this might be one of the bigger features on this dashboard or this project. So I'm thinking what I should do first is have it built, not on the dashboard, just have it wired into the project. And I'll definitely want questions from you on how to make this better. But what I want to do is basically have like a boardroom. So I myself, the owner of this company, am the CEO. But basically what I want is like the CFO, the CMO, technical architect. So these would all be different agents. And I want to get advice from you on like, you know, all the different important positions that would be in a boardroom, that would be part of the board of a company. So like this is somewhere I could go to, you know, I think the main thing would be like running by ideas that I would get different inputs from than the coach or the consulting. So I guess first, let me know what you think about this idea, and let me know any questions that you have, and we'll go from there. It definitely found some bugs I couldn't find using lower models, and did a code review which found even more things. But somebody today, a user, just told me that they tried to sign in and they got an error. So I'm going to look into that once I go back to that project. But for the most part, I think it's pretty normal that when I do bug hunts that, you know, fixing one bug kind of like can sometimes break something else. Even though you said like it should verify its work to make sure it's working right, I still haven't checked that bug that the person said they found. But for the most part, I think the main thing where I saw success was finding stuff that I couldn't find before. So I'm gonna keep using it for that across different projects. That seems to be like the highest leverage task that I have right now for Figma 5 and Ultra Code. And another question I have is, do you know, are there any newer models that are like on the horizon for Claude Code or Codex or even Gemini? I remember hearing about Mythos a couple months ago, and it looks like they just dropped like the version for the public, and I'm sure it'll get better over time. But I'm wondering if what you know about anything that might be coming in the future, and any dates you know about. That is awesome. Now I want you to help me strategize how to set this up as like a version 1 on the dashboard. So I'm thinking like maybe like the view of like a table with, you know, people sitting across the table, and or not even people, but just like seats at the table that are labeled as like their specific seat, with room for more seats to add in the future. But let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. Got the boardroom tab. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Alright, I think you're right. This is a good foundation for right now. I need to start using this stuff, and then I can start making it better. And, I mean, I'm seeing this as being just like kind of like an operation, um, home or platform for me, the CEO. And, once I get this built out better, I can basically transfer this to like any business. Um, I guess based on what we've done so far today, would you recommend doing an audit with Codex? If so, create a prompt I can give to Codex. Then once I get agents running this, like, be like, I'm going on vacation for a month. Build me an agent to replace me as the CEO and run the boardroom. Yeah. Welcome back to the chat, Lucy. Respect every time. Hope you're doing good. Building great things again. I was only planning on building out a coaching feature, and then my mind started wandering, and I was like, wait, show you what I got. The advisory. So what started out as a place for a coach and different consultant teams now is turning into like a whole like top level floor for a organization, for a corporation, like a corporate boardroom. So I've got a boardroom, which is basically like modeled after a boardroom with, like, you know, I'd be the CEO asking questions, and they'd be like the CFO, CMO, a few other spots, and a few empty spots that I can add later. Got a place for all the SOPs. It's super important that, you know, the coach and the growth team and the boardroom knows what the SOPs are, and plus myself, that I know all the SOPs. It's going to be, and agents. When I deploy agents in the future, the agents can just run right off the SOPs for different processes. Everything is, everything that comes from the roles in this project are going to be automatically written to a calendar. And then there's like a place for goal planning, so I can just see the goals like in a list. But I think this is turning into something way bigger than I first saw, which is like how pretty much all my projects end up going. But building this stuff is so awesome. It's got me saying, yeah. Yeah. Codex needs to get an auto mode. Maybe they already got one, but I just don't know how to use it. Tell me more about Google Gemini 3.5 Pro. What are the upgrades from the current Gemini model? Gemini is the one I've used the least. I like using the LLM. I feel like it's like more straight to the point and it's quicker. Maybe just not as in depth as like Claude or GPT. So help me understand 3.5 Pro better and give me some use cases that it would be better. So what I'm thinking is like test out different bots with different models. What do you think is the best way to do that? Just have one bot and then I can just switch the model and see how it works? Or have two like bots like clone to the same bot and then assign a different model to each one? Let me know what you think. Welcome back to the chat, Alex. Let's go. Time to get it. No doubt. Got the advisory board. Started out as just coach and consulting. Now it's turned into a whole boardroom place for standard operating procedures. Everything can be seen on a calendar, a list of goals. So just start using it, get it locked in, and then take it from there. Make it out to like a CEO operation platform. So while I've got access to Fable 5, can you think of any tasks that would make sense to do on this project right now before I finish the session with this project? I want to run the board, but I don't want to do that question about the platform being like something I would sell in the future. I already know that that's something I would want to do, but it's way too early to understand how that's going to play out. I want to use the board on something that's about the actual Stackivate business. So, just trying to think of a good question. Like a good question to start with this. Basically, I do not know. I'm kind of stumped right now. Give me some recommendations for a good first question for this to get this this board working correctly. A question that's gonna really get use out of each spot on this board, each roll on this board, and help me make it better. Oh, this is awesome. Okay. This is definitely Fable 5 right here, running 5 agents. I can tell this structure is new to Fable 5, how it works. And this is why it runs so many tokens, but it's worth it if it's the right task. Definitely. So what I would decide is kind of a hybrid. I would take the recommendation as stated, but also do the flagger now. So basically, the first thing I want to add is like, you know, these board questions, I think it would make sense to be saved ultimately in a database. But for now, just save it to like the project in a note. And I'll get a better idea of like how to schema this in the database as I ask more questions to this board. And I think the main next question that I'm wondering is like, is there a good way to think about this now so that, you know, like I'm getting tasks through this dashboard. It's giving me advice on how to make the project and the marketing and probably even the CRM better. So like when I get advice or info from this dashboard and it saves it to the database, I'd want to be able to make it so like I can just go on the actual project, say like the actual app project, and be like, you know, check the database for the tasks or information that I just got from like, you know, the board or the coach or the whatever team of advisors, so that it's easier to implement the exact right thing on whatever project it needs to be implemented on. Help me understand this better. Let me know if you have any questions or anything else, advice, whatever. Welcome back to the chat, Armin. good morning to you where you're at this night out here. But either way, good to have you. Good to have you back in the chat. And was up all night working with Figma. Keep calling it Figma. Fable 5. Those tasks. I was doing some tasks that I could have never done without it. I'm trying to get the most usage I can. And I definitely didn't want to stay up all night, but the tasks just kept taking longer. And then like one task would lead to another one. But I feel like my code base for Stackivate is solider than it has ever been by far. And I'm getting a lot better at understanding, you know, where the best use cases are for Alter Code and Fable 5. So I can, while I have Fable 5, I can just use it on the main stuff that will matter the most. And I'm seeing how powerful it is. Like, I just used it for this this like board meeting, and it ran up different agents for different spots on the board. But that was like a weak task. Like, I had it run up like hundreds of agents doing bug fixes and cleanups and stuff like that, and code reviews, and used a ton of data, used a ton of usage, but it was worth it, I think. So today, I'll show you what I'm building. Essentially, advisory. What started out as a place for consultant teams, I wanted to build a place where I could have like different teams of consultants. So like corporations would hire like different consulting firms for different things, and a consulting firm would basically be like a team of consultants having different roles. So I have different consultant teams. I just built out one so far for growth and strategy, and then as I need them, I'll build out more that are modeled based off of like actual major consulting firms. And then today I started out by building a coaching feature, and it's all in the same dashboard, so it all has the same, you know, information. But essentially from there, I took it to like higher and higher levels, like added a calendar for all the information, a place for goals, a place for standard operating procedures, so they're all in the same place. And then the last thing I built was a boardroom. So check this out. It's like a boardroom for like I'm the CEO, and right now I've got a general counsel that's going to be like legal stuff, which is a big deal because this is financial technology. CFO, and I can click it and it'll tell me how it's programmed, what the CFO does. CMO, technical architect, independent director, and then that's me, the founder CEO, and then open seats for later. But essentially I can run ideas, and each one will be like an agent, an individual agent based on each profile will spin up and walk me through the ideas. And this is going to be more of like more opposition. So like a coach is going to be more like, you know, helping me get stuff done. The consultants are going to be more like, you know, showing me areas in the business that like I'm not really aware of that need to be addressed, and like tasks, stuff like that, like, you know, strategy stuff. Boardroom's going to be really like, you know, running ideas by. So that'd be kind of the last step. Get these ideas from the coach and the consultants, run it by the boardroom, just like how like a major business would work. So looking back at the chat, Fable 5 is for cybersecurity, more interested in building agents. Okay, and it's basically both. And Fable 5 is probably better right now for cybersecurity, but it's also good at building agents. It's probably a little bit better than I would say Opus. Good to hear that you love to learn from me. That's what I'm trying to be, is providing value in that way to everybody in the chat. So this definitely saves so much time and money too, because like these, just the consulting alone, like each different, like just this like growth team of consultants, like if I were a CEO and I were to hire this for my business, I mean, these guys can cost like, you know, 10 to 20K just for like not much time. And you know, then as I build more teams of consultants, like each one of those is going to be like, you know, $10,000 to $20,000 to hire them in real life. Coach, I mean, you know, that's going to cost me, a good coach, maybe like $1,000 a month. So time and money. Time is money. Up to the time. Time after time. Timeless. Alright, let's see here. Okay, now I'm gonna run through everything that I did quick and make like a review so I can check back, get a better understanding if I want to from the right day in the right way. Alright, let's see. Definitely, it's like way too much for like, especially a business this size. It wouldn't make any sense. I mean, it's still like for how early the business is, the value is kind of limited from this stuff, but I'm running it out from the start, so I'll just build it and make it better as I go. But by the time the business gets like, start getting like substantial users and gets bigger, then all this stuff will be like built right from the foundation. So I think it's better to build it now, and I'll still be adding stuff as it goes, but I mean, for the budget that this business has, for kind of like the value I'm getting just off this dashboard alone is insane. Like even the CRM dashboard, like if I were to pay for a CRM that wouldn't even be custom, that would be more than the budget I'm paying just to run this entire business. No doubt. So I'm gonna go through, make a quick video for this. Give thanks every time. All right, okay, something new for today, bringing you massive value, as I would say, in all types of ways. But today, it's going to be something focused on coaching and consulting. So basically, a team of expert consultants used to be something only big companies could afford. I built my own in a couple of hours, and it knows my entire business. Technology is the great equalizer. That's the heartbeat of this video. So, I hired a team of consultants for my business, except I didn't hire anyone. I built them, and it cost me a couple days instead of tens of thousands of dollars. So, I'm going to show you what I got, show you what it's all about. All right, so here's the dashboard version of it. I'm still working with a lot of it through Claude Code, but I'm going to show you the dashboard as it stands right now. All right, so we got an overview section. We got a calendar, we got goals, we got SOPs, we got a boardroom, we got a coach, and we got the growth team, which is the consultant. And essentially, I will have multiple teams of consultants, but the growth team is the first consultant team that I set up. So I started by doing research on different like consulting firms and consulting teams and how they operate. And then I found what would make the most sense for like the first consultant team to use, which would be a growth team. So, consulting used to be locked behind big money, not anymore. It's all about abundance. It's all about finding a way. There's always a way. If you believe it, then you will see it. So here's the real thing. Real consultants are expensive for a reason, but they're worth it. A small business, someone just starting out, it doesn't make sense to drop 10 grand on advice from the start. So you just basically go without. But it's a new day. That's the old game. I'm not playing that old game anymore. So technology is the great equalizer. Anyone can build this now. So I fed it almost everything about my business. And when I ask it something, it's not some generic answer like most, talking to an LLM, like a chat window. It actually knows my business and it remembers things over time and saves it in a database. And this is still early. I built the first couple features and I'll add more as I need them, like I said. But I'm showing you how I build this. I don't build everything up front. I've learned this. I build what I actually need. I get that working right. And then I try to get that automated as much as I can. And then I build the next step. So now I'm going to show you how I actually use it, starting with the consulting part. And right now, this video is just featured on the consulting. I'll get a little bit into the coach, but I'm going to leave the other stuff for later. So basically, I would log in. This is just for me or my team if I were to hire employees for this business in the future, which it looks like I would now, but who knows? The way AI is going and updates are coming along, I might just be able to build every single position I need for employees. So, anyways, I go to the consultant team, the growth team right now, and I just basically ask it a question. Or what I would do also is have, automated maybe like a weekly check in that would be different from a monthly check in. And I'm still building that stuff out. I'm still like using it and getting to understand it to know what would be the best method to do that. Basically, right now, I'm just modeling it after how a consulting team would work. For this one, it'd be just like, an initial consulting spot. So Right now, I'm basically doing this like once a week, sit down with the consultants, look at where the business is at. And this is all about marketing and customer acquisition. That's what I need right now, getting the first customers. I just put in a value that they helped me build, a value ladder with a opening founder offer to get the first 10 users in as founders with a special deal. And looking into more like why I built this instead of just using like ChatGPT or Gemini or something like that as a chat. So context and cost are the main reason. You might be thinking, why not just use a chatbot? I tried that. The problem is the chat gets long. You're feeding it info every time. It forgets. The context gets messy. With this, my business info lives in the system. It's always there. I'm not re-explaining myself every single time. So the cost part, I don't even honestly know what it would cost to hire a team of real consultants. A marketing consultant alone is a few thousand a month. A full firm engagement, tens of thousands. Like this is like, a basic firm. And as the business grows, I could build bigger firms essentially where, each role has its own assigned agent to run it. And, this is still like really blowing my mind at what's possible with this and where this can be going. This is what vibe coding does. You build the exact thing you need, custom to you for almost nothing. It's all about the time. So breaking this down, what I've got, it's giving me what we went over with the first session, getting the first users. There was one broken revenue path it found, binding constraints, single most important action. That's a big one, what they found. And recommendations. ICE is a certain way that consultants operate, a certain framework, impact, confidence, and ease. And each one is scored 1 to 10, ranked by the consultant team, basically showing where I'm at right now with certain things in the project. And, this whole project is on a database that's shared between all the different dashboards that I have. So I have the actual app, I have the marketing dashboard project, the CRM dashboard project. All of these are custom for this business. And now this is like the main suite for the CEO where it's, I'm going to be running everything by with this. And this is like a whole just like, business operation right here. And then I got a report currently is stored just in the project. I'll be putting it over to the database later, like I said. But basically, where it's going next, I just started adding the coach. The coach gets access to the same info and analysis my consultants give me. So the coach knows exactly where I'm at and what my next steps are and can help me move on it. Everybody's working off the same page. I'll keep adding more teams as the business grows. And right now, the coach just, I've ran through it one time, giving me just, like information based on what is found. And then automatically, when I get information from either the consultant or the coach, mainly the coach, it can go straight to the calendar. And it's right now it's storing like what I did with what team and then certain tasks that might need to be done and then also goals. So there's no goals yet. That's going to be another task that I'm doing with the coach and the consultant teams next. I'll have a place for my goals so I can just see the actual goals and break them down into tasks, and then the tasks can go into the calendar. Also got a place for standard operating procedures. That is big too. So, this is all about the bigger journey. It's all about going from nothing, starting this business from nothing. I mean, I have money that I have to run the business. It's very minimal that I have to put into it. And just to maintain it, it's very minimal compared to like what this would have costed before AI. And my background is in business, not developing. I'm learning developing quick, learning as I go, staying consistent. But my background is all about business systems, understanding how to run businesses. And this is like the biggest thing in my life to come along. So I'm just running with it as much as I can, trying to stay at the forefront of what's possible, cutting edge of technology, if you will. So I'm building out the real systems that run real businesses live with AI. You can check me running it live pretty much every day, live on YouTube and Twitch. And if you want to see the inside story on what I'm building, I've also got an email list that I just started putting together with an offer with it too. The offer's still in the works, but it'll be there soon. And you can see that's where real businesses behind the scenes live. And I would have to say that's it for today. Hopefully you got value off of what I had to say with this video. So now you know, it's always something new coming to you. Make sure you like if you haven't, subscribed too, because I'm always coming through with something new with the station of information and regulation. So you know it's all about the nation of business, vibe coding, whatever it might be, whatever you want to see, just link me. All right, so let's see. At 28. So that was a marketing video for this dashboard. Just cook that in. Looking back at the chat. Sorry I missed those chats. So thank you for the compliments. It's definitely looking nice so far. Looking professional. Definitely can make the UI better. But for now, like, customers wouldn't be seeing this. It would just be me and any team I have. And this is what it's all about. Growing businesses fast, most efficient way, the best information, how I would stay, as I would say, as I would tell you. So you know, feeling good about everything I'm doing, pursuing, and just keep on getting better. That's what it's all about. So that's awesome to be doing these videos. I've got a brand voice in my marketing, personal brand marketing system where I can just take a video from the live stream and everything's just feeding into each other. It's all loops, all everything makes everything I build makes everything else better. Well, let's see. Almost at 3 hours, 33 minutes and 33 seconds. That would be 3:33:33. Feeling like that's a good time to be and in the chat. So if you're new, thanks to you for coming through. If not, welcome back. But either way, this is how I'm gonna stay. Keep dropping value. And you know, it's another day, it's another flow. So I'll just keep on going. And got a late start today. Another good finals game. Almost took away my prediction for Knicks in 6. Thought it was gonna go to game 7 until they came back. That was insane. Got to watch that last shot where they took the lead after being down by like 30 points around like halftime. But I believed it. I was even calling it. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't even be surprised if they caught up. But anyways, I think I'm gonna end it right now. That's